For this trip, we're heading to Prague. I'm taking my second favorite traveling companion, my sister Carissa. Together, we'll explore one of the most iconic cities in Europe and have captured the highlights in this digital scrapbook. We met up in D.C. and we took an Uber to Dulles Airport, one of the prettiest airports.
Wow, it's really pretty at night.
It's very pretty at night. Well, the lantern was sort of this concept.
Yes, I've heard of Dramedy. I've never heard of Bowie.
It's become one of my travel habits is to take Dramamine before any kind of flight or boat trip. Just cuts off any seasickness or air sickness before you even get started.
And I just follow suit, so I got some as well. I had wanted to come to Prague earlier in the year, but John wasn't game. Luckily, Carissa was.
I'm always game for a trip abroad.
The conversion fee or whatever.
Getting into Prague was super easy, and the Uber ride from the airport to our hotel in the heart of Prague was really quick and easy.
We stayed in Malastrada, which is also known as the lesser town, but we didn't find anything less about it. It was absolutely beautiful. So we stayed in a hotel called the Golden Wheel, which had these amazing ceilings that were hand-painted. Despite a long day of travel, we were excited to get out and see Prague Castle because the hotel was just about a 5-6 minute walk from Prague Castle. But first we had to get something to eat.
Prague Castle is open at night, even though the buildings are closed, but it was a great opportunity to see the gorgeous architecture lit up in the night sky, with really, really incredible views of the city below us.
The next morning, we retraced the steps from the prior night and headed back up to Prague Castle. This time, we were excited to be able to go and see the interior of the buildings that we witnessed last night.
Yeah, so we didn't know about it. So music, apparently.
it's called Prague Castle, it's actually a huge compound that houses government buildings, the cathedrals, historical buildings, and, of course, a dungeon, as all old European cities must have.
I was surprised by that. I'd always thought Prague Castle was just one thing. So it was really interesting to learn that it's actually all these things, with a big centerpiece being the St. Victus Cathedral.
It's actually the St. Vitus Cathedral.
The stained glass in the cathedral was fascinating to me. It spanned the centuries. It took a long time to build the cathedral, with the final touches being set in 1929. Wow. And you can tell by the Art Deco style of some of the stained glass windows. We were lucky to be there on a sunny day, with the sun streaming through the windows. The cathedral was genuinely a jewel box of colors. As we rounded the corner, we saw a statue of St. George and mistakenly thought this was St. George's Basilica, but actually it's the Great South Tower.
So 260 some steps, right? Oh, I can't remember what it is.
Carissa had purchased us the tickets to Prague Castle. However, they don't include going up the South Tower, so we had to pay a little bit extra for that. So that's something to be aware of if you want to go up the tower, is that it is a little bit of extra cost. And it's a very, very tight fit to go up there.
Not a good place to pass. Sorry. Thank you.
The tight climb and the gorgeous views when we got to the top of the tower pretty much determined that we now lived up here.
Yeah, Carissa was getting ready to get us some Uber Eats up here. Uber Eats never showed up, so we decided to go and explore the rest of Prague Castle, and we finally ran into what is the actual St. George's Basilica.
Looks like this is the thing we could go into.
The very decorated Renaissance style of the exterior of the cathedral was completely different from what we found inside with the very Romanesque architecture of the time.
Not nearly as ornate as the cathedral, St. George's Basilica is actually where many of the Czech royal family are buried, and they actually display some of the bones of saints and the tombs of the Czech royal family in the basilica.
It's still pretty.
It's so pretty.
It's still pretty. I didn't get ugly while we were in there.
Up next, we followed the crowds and ended up at the Golden Lane.
And despite its name, not actually golden, but still very pretty.
It's a set of small houses that date all the way back to medieval times, and it's where the workmen and servants for the castle actually lived.
And now there are a series of really, really cute shops.
Yeah, they got us on a couple of these.
They did.
In addition to the very cute shops, some of the houses were retooled to show almost like mini museums and display items and how people would have lived back when they were first built. Our last stop at the Prague Castle complex was a prison, and I can't pronounce it, so Carissa will say it.
I think it's pronounced Daliborka prison.
We didn't explore it in depth because we were getting a little bit tired and wanted to move on to the Charles Bridge. So we just took a quick peek in and headed off. had walked around Malastrada and Prague Castle for the entirety of the day, but we couldn't let the day pass us without going and see Charles Bridge, which spans the Vltava River and is one of the biggest tourist attractions in Prague, and what I think Prague is primarily known for.
And the weather continued to work with us because we got there at the perfect time with the golden pre-sunset light hitting the town and the bridge. The Charles Bridge is decorated with 30 statues of saints and dignitaries, and as you cross it, either end is anchored by towers. On the Old Town, there's one large decorative neo-Gothic tower. On the other end, there are two lesser towers.
Lesser, but just as beautiful. One of the unfortunate things that had happened is I started to have some technical difficulties with some of my camera gear. So Carissa and I decided to go and try to find a new SD card to see if that would solve a problem. We started to walk towards the shopping area, quickly decided to grab an Uber, and once we were there, we also grabbed a snack because we were getting a little bit hungry.
And I also think it's always fun to see other countries' malls.
Yes, and it was a really nice mall.
It was a very nice mall.
To the gate of Prague.
We started to walk back to the hotel and found ourselves at Wenceslas Square, famous not just for one of the best Christmas carols ever. It's also known for hosting many of the important rallies that happened in Czech history, including the rally that ended the communist rule in Czechoslovakia, known as the Velvet Revolution. After a lovely dinner and some more wonderful Czech beer, we headed back to the hotel, but not before we took another glimpse at the beautiful cathedral in Prague Castle. We had an amazing first day in Prague and excited for tomorrow, where we'll be going out to Kutná Hora, which is a UNESCO World Heritage City. So stay tuned. We have 2 more episodes of our Prague adventure for you.